Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Thank you for those of you joining us today for this episode of Her Version. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from learning from other people's stories. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Lisa Ingalls Witter. Lisa is here today to talk about her journey about learning and wholeheartedly believing in the theory of law of attraction. 30 years into this journey, she turned around and realized it had done absolutely nothing for her despite her persistence. If you are having these same struggles, you are going to want to sit down and listen in. Lisa is going to break it down, reverse it, and tell you the truth about getting what you want out of life. We are here today to talk about spiritual awakenings. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you for having me, Sabrina. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to sit down and chit chat with us and share a little bit of your journey and a little bit of your story and to talk about the law of attraction. I'm so excited about this topic because I hear such an array of thoughts on it. So I'm so excited to dive in deep.
We're going to take a deep dive.
Yeah,
Welcome.
on your experiences on this. So before we jump in, though, I kind of want to just kind of get a little bit of your backstory, a little bit of who you are. Do you mind taking a few moments to kind of tell us a little bit about your past, some stuff you've gone through, where you are now?
Yeah. So just like, I guess, high level overview, keeping it in the context of what we're talking about here, which is the law of attraction, is I sort of grew up on the law of attraction back in the 80s. So I'm not new to this concept of the law of attraction. And just sort of a sweeping scope is I was using the law of attraction for many, many years, like you said in your intro, used it for about 30 years. And I was even, I am a counselor, I'm a coach, teach people how to change their beliefs, all of the stuff that goes right along and hand in hand with the law of attraction. And finally, just about 10 years ago or so, I realized, okay, this isn't really working. And why isn't it working? And in the sort of in the in-between spaces of law of attraction in my life, I'm also a spiritual seeker, and my life is dedicated to spiritual growth. And I found myself eventually studying certain spiritual scriptures, Indian philosophy, and yoga, and sort of realized, oh, there's this other law called the law of karma that is actually thousands of years old, that is a doctrine that has been accepted by all Eastern spiritual traditions, that far outweighs this very new doctrine of the law of attraction. And I realized this is sort of what I should be focusing on, this whole law of karma. And to bring me to my life right now, since I've been studying and understanding how the law of karma works, I've had a happier, more fulfilled life than I ever have, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. Despite all those 30 years of trying with the law of attraction, when I finally shifted over to this law of karma, it gave me everything that I had hoped that I would get in the law of attraction, but never got. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's sort of a quick sweeping overview of my story.
So the law of attraction, I feel like I didn't realize it had been around in the 80s. So that's interesting to me. I probably came about the law of attraction in 2008, 9. And I thought it was new. But you're telling me at that point it was already 30 years old.
Well, no, the law of attraction, and I mean, even Paramahansa Yogananda, who's my guru, who is no longer living, but he was the author of one of the most famous books, Autobiography of a Yogi. He talks about the law of attraction in his book, Autobiography of a Yogi, which was published in 1960. He was talking about the law of attraction in the 1920s, but the law of attraction was really founded in the New Thought movement that started in the 1880s or so, came over to America, became very popular with people like Napoleon Hill, Ernest Holmes, who was the founder of the Church of Religious Science, which is now the Center for Spiritual Living. So by the time I had, in my teen years, I lived in Huntington Beach, California, which is in Southern California. And there was a local Church of Religious Science, again, which is now Center for Spiritual Living. And my mom was going to that church. And I had been raised Catholic, but then switched over to New Thought, started going to this church, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it because it was so different than how I had been raised in Catholicism and Christianity. It was different in that it espoused, your thoughts create your reality. There was a lot more freedom to it. That didn't seem like there were so many rules. And when I went to church, it was like going to a motivational seminar. And I remember telling my mom, I was like 15 years old, 1985 or so. And I told her, that's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to be that woman who's standing up there inspiring all these people. And to me, it felt like there was a much bigger, deeper purpose to it. So that's how I really started my journey with the law of attraction. It wasn't called the law of attraction. That was that is an entire marketing term.
Yeah.
It's a big marketing thing. Law of attraction is making a lot of money. Anybody who uses that term, you go on YouTube and put in law of attraction, it's huge how many, experts there are teaching law of attraction types of things, and making a lot of money on it.
Yeah, definitely. I probably saw that main video that they came out with. I don't know if I'm assuming you saw it at some point in your life. I've probably seen it like 100 times. Just kept playing it over and over and over and over and over again. So what's the difference between the law of attraction and the law of karma?
Oh, huge difference between the law of attraction and the law of karma. So the law of attraction, this is where we go down the rabbit hole, right? Of what what it is and what it isn't. So let's see if we can tackle this law of attraction thing. The law of attraction, of course, says that you manifest your reality by your thoughts, right? That whatever your thoughts are and the vibration of those thoughts will attract you into your life, those things that are of the same vibration. Okay. That's the basic premise of the law of attraction. But the problem with that quote unquote law is that it's not really it's not scientifically proved. It's not a real law like they would like you to think that it's a law, right? I mistakenly believed that the law of attraction had scientific basis because all the gurus and experts who are promoting it are using words like quantum physics and quantum reality and particles and energy. And these are all scientific terms. So these scientific terms sort of claim its legitimacy in science, even though the law of attraction fails to comply with any scientific methods. So where do I even begin? Like I said, it's a rabbit hole when we start to talk about the law of attraction. Oh, go ahead.
That's so interesting to me that you're saying that, because I believe, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, the one movie. But they do have scientists, I believe, don't they? Like
They
doctors or
do have scientists
who,
and doctors who are, if you even take a moment to look them up online, you find out, oh, they're not even respected doctors like I think Dr. Emoto Misuro, the water doctor. He's not even like a real bona fide doctor. Like some of these people, yes, they are doctors, but they're not respected in science. They use their title to, they might be a doctor, but they're not a doctor of science or a doctor of archaeology, or it's like, okay, you are a doctor, but are you a doctor of what it is that you're purporting you're a doctor of?
wow.
And so these titles are used to manipulate public belief about what's really going on. And it really doesn't take that much investigation. One of the things that I learned is, and this is very, very important when it comes to the law of attraction, and it's something that really kept me hooked into the law of attraction. It's a logic fallacy, and it's called an unfalsifiable claim, which is exactly what the law of attraction is. It's an unfalsifiable claim. So what that means is that it's a claim that is made that is impossible to prove false. So in the scientific method, you can never use, like if you're in a science lab and you're trying to prove a theory, the theory cannot be based on an unfalsifiable claim. It has to be something that you can prove either true or false. With the law of attraction, what happens is you either manifest what you want in your life, right? Or you don't manifest what you want in your life. So you're either successful or unsuccessful at manifesting. Either way, the burden is always going to fall squarely on your shoulders, whatever your results are. If you're successful in manifesting whatever it is that you wanted, well, then that's because your thoughts helped you to manifest that. If you weren't successful in manifesting, well, it's because your thoughts weren't aligned. You weren't holding the right vibration. So no matter what, you are always the one responsible for everything that happens to you in your life. And then those experts, those gurus, or whoever they are, your law of attraction coach tells you when you're not manifesting the things that you want in your life. They tell you things like, oh, well, what's holding you back is you don't believe in it. You don't believe that it works.
Wow.
Or what's holding you back is you have mental blocks. You have a subconscious block to it, or you weren't being clear enough in your intention, or you didn't feel the feelings strong enough. So this claim that you create your reality is impossible to prove false. And it's always your fault if something bad happens to you. And then the teacher or the guru is always blameless in these cases, right?
This sounds a lot like religion.
No, it is. So New Age is supposed to be non-religious and spiritual, but not religious. But the truth is that it is exactly a religion. It operates just like a religion.
Yeah, when you were talking about, you have to, like, scientifically, you can't prove or unprove the truth or the not truth. That's the same thing as faith.
Exactly.
Like, I could say that the reason that I was able to get a new job that was high paying is because of my belief in God, or because of my belief in the law of attraction. Or I could not believe in anything at all and still get that high paying job.
Absolutely. So there you go, right there. It's like, it's just a belief. And this is one of the things that, again, there's so many good nuggets in here, but first is, it's just a belief. So the law of attraction is nothing more than a firmly held belief that people have. But you have to look at, just like any religion, there are these logic fallacies. One is that unfalsifiable claim, like I just said. But then there's these other logic fallacies, and the other logic fallacies are ones that you may have heard of, because nowadays in public culture, it's things like when we're dealing with things like social justice and injustices, we're starting to understand now that we all have biases, right? Like, it became very clear a couple years ago that there was this huge divide and inequity between privilege spots is what's called a confirmation bias. And a confirmation bias is just our tendency to interpret any evidence, anything that might be. Am I back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My video was going off, so I wasn't sure if you could see and hear me. So with the confirmation bias, it's exactly what you're saying is, oh, I got this high paying job because of the law of attraction. A confirmation bias is just when something happens, you attribute it to a belief that you have. We all have confirmation biases. Like, we all think certain things are happening because of something that we believe. So that's a confirmation bias. And that's really, really important to realize, oh, there are a lot more reasons why something happened than just my belief of why it happened. For instance, you got that good paying job because you're smart. You put the elbow grease in to apply for the job, to go through all the interviews, to be in the right social circles, to connect with the right people. There are so many more causes and conditions. In fact, a complex web of causes and conditions that create your reality right now that are completely out of your control.
Yeah.
Out of your control, And the law of attraction would like you to think, oh, it's all in your control. Your thoughts are going to create it. Yeah, but maybe you don't have the social privilege because of the color of your skin, which is another thing people don't like to talk about, is that the law of attraction is biased towards white people. Sorry, but it is. Look at the people who are mostly promoting it. Mostly, I won't say all, but are mostly privileged white people. They're not people of color.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, like, I never got, I never benefited from it. But again, I don't want to get too political, but it's mostly men, not women. Yes, there are women too, but mostly men, mostly white men. It again is going to confirm their thing. Well, see, you're not trying hard enough. Well, they have more privilege. White people, in certain circumstances, have more privileges. Men in certain circumstances have more privileges.
Wow.
So, I don't mean
this is almost like a really high form of gaslighting. Almost.
Okay, so this is the other thing that happens with law of attraction, is not only gaslighting, but gaslighting yourself, because you think in the end, oh my God, I've done all of this stuff. There must be something wrong with me, because what happened to me is the conundrum that I found myself in was, it's always my fault. Every time I did the work to clear my not good enough beliefs, I was faced with the proof that I wasn't good enough. Well, because, my life at the time was, I was divorced and single. I was struggling to grow my business. I felt like a total mess trying to hold it all together. And here I was, like, gaslighting myself, oh, something must be wrong with me. Because yes, I was being the law of attraction is just like any other religion. oh, it's your fault because you're the, if we look at Christianity, you're a sinner. I mean, and I'm not saying there's always good things about all of these, right? But it is good to sort of parse apart what's really going on here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never hooked law of attraction to run parallel to religion, but you did a really good job of kind of breaking that down to make me feel like there is some serious parallels between those two. So that's awesome for me. Maybe not awesome for other people.
Well, a lot of people think, and like I said, I grew up on New Age. I grew up in the New Age world. This is my home. These are a lot of my colleagues, even now, even a lot of my colleagues are in this world. And it's just, I personally was predispositioned to religion, I guess, because I needed to have faith in something beyond myself of how the world worked. I needed to hold on to something because of my own wounding that I had.
Yeah.
And
I
that
totally
was,
get that.
yeah.
I totally get that.